Hello, hello, hello. I am in my garden with my baby dog. There is my baby dog, and he is lying on his back, and he is partly in the shade to protect himself from the sun. Yes, and he likes that. He likes lying on his back with the big fat forehead on the ground, because the forehead is really wide and upholstered. Yes. And he took a shower and he feels really good now. Yes, he does. He feels very good. Yes. All right. And chicken. So, I have my spray here for the mosquitoes, also for my skin. And I want to do a foot massage here. If it's showing very well. Maybe I should turn it this way. I don't know. Like that. To make sure that the camera is not in the sun. That is very important. If I turn it like this, then the alien spaceships will come as in form of sunbeams. So I will do this here. My spray. That feels really refreshing. Very nice. It's nice to wear shorts. Very nice. You see? Yes. It's so nice. So, yeah, I'll do a leg massage and a foot massage. Gentle leg and foot massage. Oh, I don't believe it. He's turning the lawnmower on. Just as I wanted to make the video. Oh. Okay. My artwork is coming along very well in the garage. I'm painting an old water heater, and the name I give him is Hermes Trismegistus, and I will show him when he is completely finished. And I also have to paint an old exercise machine that is also rusty. I have to paint that as well. And that will just be called the exercise machine. But both of these things will be my art. I declare them as my art. And they will stay in this garage, in this house. Okay? They will come with the house. Whoever wants to buy the house. The asking price is $600,000 for this property here. So just in case someone is interested, that is what we want, because that is what it's worth. Okay, 100,000%. It is, because it comes with my artwork. In the staircase, it looks absolutely fantastic. My artwork in the staircase, very carefully decorated with my artwork. And we want to sell this property to an art lover. Okay, very important that we do this. So There are a couple of things I want to talk about. I hope the lawnmower noise is not too bad. I hope this is not too disturbing. But I think the background noises are pretty good with the Chromebooks. The Chromebooks have managed to get rid of background noises very well. So that's great. I really like that. You know, that is so much better than the actual sound right now. Okay, so the way it sounds right now here in live reality, the background noises are much louder than when I review my video and I see that the Chromebook is taking very good care of the background sounds. So the background sounds, they are really far in the background, which is really nice. I'm really surprised every time I see that, I hear that. So the only problem right now with the Chromebook that I noticed is it doesn't have very good light adjustment when the sun is in the back and when I'm in some kind of shadow spot like this here. Then the light adjustment is often too dark. So, but they will figure it out in time. I will never buy an Apple computer, never, because I'm an animal rights activist, and many years ago the Apple Corporation fed an entire baby pig, roasted baby pig, to their staff in South America. And I signed that petition letter, and I told them that I will never buy a product from them ever again, not even if they fix this, because just one time an offense like that to me is enough. I will never buy an Apple computer or any of their products ever. So my favorite company right now is Google, but unfortunately Google had the wrong people come in, infiltrators, and they have taken over. It's very sad with the human species, all of this. Very sad. So, but they're still my favorite company, even with the mafia people and corrupt people in it. That's still my favorite. So, when Elon Musk gets his own computers, I will only buy Tesla computers. So that's a sure thing. I want everything from Elon Musk. Every device there is, okay. Every computer device that he has, every machine that he makes, I want. Every robot, everything. Okay. So I want an Elon Musk robot that looks like Elon Musk also. So as a companion animal, as my companion boyfriend. Okay. So conversation partner, everything. That is what I want. An Elon Musk robot boyfriend. That is what I want. Yeah. And that robot boyfriend, he'd never wrestle with someone. Jiu-jitsu or whatever. with some red-faced jiu-jitsu computer people. You would never do that. The robot would never do that. So, yeah, that's so much better. So, yeah, I want to talk about nature. Nature is our mother, okay? This planet is our mothership. Nature needs to be left in its own natural nature state. You can mow the lawn, as Paul is right now, okay? But please don't chop off trees. Don't log trees. Never, ever, ever, ever. Okay? Never, 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 ever log a tree. Never cut down a tree. This is very, very important. Leave every single tree standing and alive. This is a command. This is not even a petition. It's a command. I'm your environmental commander. Okay. This is a command of love and kindness and compassion. Leave everything natural. Never ever spray any toxins into the environment. Okay. This here is natural stuff. And I only spray this on my skin. And it's natural stuff with natural stuff in it. So, pretty good stuff. It has some fragrance, perfume in it. So, but the rest is all natural and it doesn't hurt anything. Okay. So, never spray poisons into nature. Okay. Never, 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 ever spray poisons on weeds or anything. Okay. Never, ever put any kind of pesticide into your garden or on your animal or on anything. Okay. Never use roach motels. Those are poison. Never do it. Okay. There are natural, easy ways to handle any kind of bug issue or whatever in your vegetable garden and so on. There are natural ways to do this, to take care of this. Diatomaceous earth is safe and natural, and it takes care of any kind of aphids infestation or lice or plant lice or animal lice or people lice or ticks or fleas or mosquitoes. Diatomaceous earth takes care of this. Okay. So just don't put diatomaceous earth on top of a flower, because the flowers they need to be pollinated. Okay. That's why they're opening up like this, because they want to be pollinated. so that they can seed out. They have to be pollinated through pollinator insects. And we need all pollinator insects on this planet. People have been listening to propaganda and lies. Okay. There was this propaganda and lie out there, a blame shifting. They wanted to blame cell phone towers for bees becoming extinct. And there are places on this planet where they have no more pollinator insects, like they have no more bees and other type of insects that pollinate. And the actual reason why is because of pesticides. Because people have been spraying pesticides, and then they wonder why the pollinator insects are dying out. They don't even connect the dots at all. It's so sad. But the corporate agenda, they immediately jumped in and blamed everything on cell phone towers, which has nothing to do with that situation. Okay. Cell phone towers, that's not good either. That's not very good for any natural existence. That's not very good. But that's not what causes the mass dying out of pollinator insects. Okay. Mass extinction of pollinator insects is caused by pesticides. People need to know this. Okay? They should know this. Never ever use pesticides. Never ever use poisons. Please understand that. Okay. There are natural ways to handle any kind of business. Anything in your house, in your garden, anything can be dealt with in the most elegant solution there is, in the most, not just the safest, but the absolute best way. Okay, so safe and good, and really, and accommodating everything. Okay, giving to everything. Diatomaceous earth is completely safe for most animals, for dogs, for us, completely safe. But it does get rid of ants. Okay? It does get rid of insects. It even gets rid of internal parasites. Okay? I take a tablespoon of that every single day, and my dog gets one too, every day. So our systems are completely clean. Okay. It gets rid of the vast majority of insects, particularly smaller insects, like the size of these flower heads. So it gets rid of those. That's why you don't want to put diatomaceous earth on top of the flower, because that would also kill the bee. Okay. We want the bees to be happy and alive. Okay. All bees, bumblebees and striped bees, and we want all of them. All those good pollinator insects. We want all of them to be healthy and happy. This is very important information I'm giving. Okay? We want all of this to be pure. Like you pick something in your garden, like this here, and there it is pure, it's pristine. Okay? You can make tea with this, because our garden is biodynamic. It's all natural. We would never spray anything. So I highly recommend this lifestyle to every single person. Your life will become better. Much, much better. So, and keep every single tree. Okay, these are new trees here. These are Douglas fir. They are growing very fast. They are already way taller than me. They are like, I don't know, like they're more than 10 feet tall. They're amazing. And we need every single tree. In the very beginning, when we bought this property, these trees were not there yet. They appeared like a year or two later on every one of these spots. And I kept telling Paul, don't mow over them. Those are baby saplings. Don't mow over them. They were like this size here, like literally this size, like just this small, like an inch, right? Tall. And Paul didn't see them, so he would mow over them, and I kept telling him not to do it. But because the lawnmower doesn't cut everything down like a golf course, this lawnmower, he set that to about, I don't know, he set it to about 2 inches, 3 inches of vegetation tall. So, and because he did that, then he mowed over the new Douglas fir baby saplings. But they got, instead of getting taller, they got stronger in width. They got wider, they got sturdier, and so then finally he didn't miss them anymore. He saw them, and he did not mow over them anymore eventually. So, and I got real mad at him because he kept mowing over them for a long time. So, but by then they had already grown pretty strong, but they were only like 3 to 4 inches tall because he kept mowing over them. But they gotten really, really strong and sturdy and robust and gnarly and woody and with big roots and big stump already. And so I said, no, you cannot mow over them anymore. You need to let them grow. They want to grow tall and they want to be here. And then he said for a while, oh, I'm gonna have to move them. I'm gonna have to dig them out. I'm gonna have to move them over to the side. And I argued with him. And I said, don't move them. They want to be here. Okay, right here. That's where they are happy. That's where they want to be. This one too, okay? And this one too. So they are, all 3 of them here. They want to be right here where they are. So don't cut them, don't move them, let them grow. This tree over there, that's some kind of lilac, I believe. It's the form of lilac. Very, very nice tree. It already had flowers, light blue flowers. Very nice. The whole tree is full of light blue flowers, like a flower cone. Very nice. They smell very nice. That tree there, that was not there either when we first moved here. So then it started growing, and then Paul in the beginning mowed over it, and I told him not to. I said, let that tree grow. It wants to grow. And then he let the tree grow. So, and in nature, this entire lawn here would, if people didn't mow over anything, if there would be no more lawn mowing, then this would all densely populate itself with trees. It would all become a forest again, just like behind all of those needle trees. There's a very steep slope going down to a stream. I have never been to the stream yet, but that's very, very dense with trees. This entire acre there that is going down in the slope, and it should be. Okay? And I don't want anyone cutting any tree on any property, particularly not on our own property. So, very important. So that's the one thing that I wanted to talk about today. And I keep repeating myself because it is important that I keep repeating myself about this. Very important. So I also want to talk about psychology. I want to say that there's a solution out there for every single problem, you know. There is a solution, and I have been talking to Paul about this. There is a drug epidemic right now in the world. My brother is one of them, and that makes me very, very sad that my brother is not able to understand all of this from the bottom up. At the core of his existence, he has not been able to really understand the danger of what he's doing to himself. So that is something I always want to talk about, because it is such a big problem in the world, and people need to understand this problem. Really, they really need to understand this. If they really understood this problem, they would never touch any toxic substance again, would never put any toxic substance like alcohol or drugs into their bodies ever again. Never again. Your body is your temple. Your body is your mothership that carries your soul. Your body is an amazing, amazing biological machine. Treat it well. Treat this body well. Okay? Only eat good food, raw plant food, every day. Eat half a watermelon every day. That's a superfood. Okay? Or a whole watermelon. So I can easily eat a whole watermelon per day. Easily, because I can just drown a whole lot of water into my stomach all the time. I mean, when I get started with that, when he makes watermelon blend, and he just blends watermelon, he doesn't add anything. He just puts the juicy pieces of watermelon into the blender, he blends it, and out comes this life-saving superfood elixir. Okay? And that's the best tasting smoothie there is. Okay? It does not get any better than that. And the other day I just drank like 3 of these large, very, very large thermos cans in a row with watermelon. And every time he would come over with that pitcher, he'd look into my thermos can and couldn't believe it that I had already downed that into my stomach. I guess I have a big stomach. But that's good, you know. You cannot overdose on something like this. I mean, if you have a big stomach, you can definitely overdose on the wrong foods, and eat very easily pizza and all that bad stuff, junk food. But you can't overdose on watermelon smoothie. You can't. So that's what you need. That's what you need. That's what your mothership vessel of the body needs. Watermelon. And then the body uses that, the nutrients, all of that for the whole body. And your body loves that, absolutely loves that. I'm plucking some of my hairs out. I've been already plucking some hairs out. I don't have very much leg hair, which I am grateful for, very, very grateful for that. But I have very, very, very tiny, thin leg hairs that are like individual, and I just pluck them out with my fingers. And it's actually very soothing and very relaxing to do that, to pluck hairs out. It's very relaxing to do. It's a little bit like sewing by hand. And that's also why I sew my clothes by hand, because I don't use the sewing machine. I used to sew with my mother's sewing machine. I constantly got hurt my fingers, and it jammed, and always had problems. So I don't like power tools. I don't like electronic machine tools. Lawnmower, okay, but I'd rather if he does the lawn mowing. So some of those are important. Some of those power tools are necessary, I guess. But I would rather not be the one doing this. So I would rather be the one with the hedge shear, the hedge clipper, the manual hedge clipper, or the pruner and stuff like that. So I pluck my hair out manually. It's good to have waxing strips, but why get those if you like to pull your hair out individually, if you enjoy that, right? Then you don't need. I do it on my arm too. I have almost no hair on my arm, but there's a little bit fine hair. So, and I pluck that out too. So, because I don't want to have any hair, not even the slightest bit, on the body. So, but it's really nice and relaxing to do this. My violin teacher she laughed so hard at the soup plantation when I told her that I don't need to wax my legs because I only have these individual hairs like this, and she laughed and laughed and laughed. Japanese lady, she laughed and laughed and laughed. I only have these individual hairs standing, kind of like we both laughed because that reminded us of a cartoon. Sometimes you see cartoon people and then they show their legs and they have these individual hairs. But my hairs are like super fine, you can barely see them. And I'm very grateful for that. That's really nice. That's very Scandinavian, by the way. So, and that's also evolution, that's advanced in evolution, to have almost no body hair, and with a completely receding, I don't know if it shows, but completely receding, with completely receding toenails. Like when I cut this here, the little one in particular, there's almost no toenail material. when it grows longer, then it scratches into my socks. So then I cut it off, and every time I'm shocked that there's like just 1 millimeter of toenail material, actual toenail material on there. and the other ones are very short as well. Even this one, even the second one, as you can see. Yes. Almost no more toenail material. So that's evolution. No? Fingernails, toenails are receding. And if we continue on that path, then the future generations, they won't have any more fingernails and no more toenails. That will be just looking like this here, on both sides. And that's better. It's better. In my opinion, it's better. Paul doesn't think so. Paul, he has long fingernails, and I don't like that when men have long fingernails. I don't like to be petted by a man who has long fingernails and who scratches my sensitive skin. So I don't like that at all. I don't like men with really scratchy beards. I never liked that scratchy beard in Paul's face. Never did. The dogs never liked that. The horse doesn't like it either. Because Paul always, what he does is, he puts his face into the animal's face. He has always done that his whole life. Since he was a little boy, he had put his face into the dog's face. When the mother said to him that he can't put his face onto her chest anymore, because she said then that people were staring, and when he would do that in public, and she didn't know how that would be perceived by other people, particularly conservative people out there. They're very conditioned. So he wasn't allowed to put his face onto his mother's chest anymore. I don't know, at age 3 or 4, when he still wanted to do that, because I gave him comfort, right? So then he started to put his face into the dog's face, and the dog liked that, because at that time he didn't have a beard. He obviously had a very, very tender baby skin, and the dog liked that attention and that oxytocin and the love exchange. And so from then on he linked up love with animal and with putting the face into the animal's face, and I think that's very beautiful. The only problem is now he has this real big scratchy white beard, and the animals, they don't like that at all, that scratchy white beard. I mean, they kind of put up with it, but they still think it's nice of him, but they go like, I'd rather not. And they turn their heads away from him, not because they don't want the interaction, but because they don't want that beard to scratch them. So, and I don't blame them, and I always keep telling him, don't do that, don't force your beard into their faces. That's not good. They don't want that. It doesn't feel good to them. So yeah, I would never do something like this. I'd never force my face onto an animal's face. So when I pet I mean, I don't have a beard, of course. I have almost no facial hair. I have baby skin, and the animals, they like that. Okay. So, but whether someone has a beard or no beard, whether it's a man or a woman, never ever ever force anything onto an animal. Never force your face onto an animal or force an animal to cooperate or to tolerate anything. Never force an animal to perform anything or sit on your lap when they don't want to sit on your lap. So when I approach an animal with tender love and respect, and I let the animal come to me and lick me in the face, or the baby dog likes to kiss, likes to lick a lot. He is a licker, and I let him do it. So I don't initiate it, I don't do anything. I let him do that. And he likes that. And he also likes to lick our legs or our arms. He likes to do we always call him, we call him our nursemaid. So he licks the mites of Paul's arms, and Paul likes that. And so the baby dog is infinitely loving, and that's wonderful. Okay, dogs give unconditional love. Dogs do everything for their best friends, and people need to understand that, and they need to respect them. They need to appreciate them. They need to appreciate the love of dogs. And they need to be kind to dogs. They need to always be kind to dogs. Always, always, always. Okay. Very important information. So, in regards to the drug epidemic that is out there in the world, which is really, 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 really horrible and sad to see. Okay. I turn out maybe like this. The sun is gradually going down now. So in regards to this horrible drug epidemic that is going on in the world, I need to say that there is a solution to this. Donald Trump already offered a solution for California, for the homeless people. They're all drug addicts. That's why they are homeless. Okay, so he offered to help with that and to give incentives to different owners of empty buildings. For example, there are a lot of empty buildings, a lot of empty business buildings, and with lots of office space, and all of that standing completely empty because they have built so much office space and now they don't know what to do. So there are many buildings that, because then they're overpriced and so on. And then also, California is suffering from Governor Newsom, okay, a whole lot, So I don't know how this is gonna go. And Donald Trump offered real help with that, and he said these people, they need to be rounded up, they need to be forced institutionalized, okay. And Governor Newsom refused because I don't know what this problem is. He's probably paid to work for the mafia. Okay, that's what it looks like to me, actually. So it's very sad when there's a solution and people refuse to do it. But that's the solution, okay? drug addicts need to be force institutionalized. And my brother does too, okay? And every single person who is taking any kind of drug, they need to be force institutionalized. I'm talking about hard drugs. I'm talking about cocaine and meth and crack and bath salts and, all the haters on bath salts. They need to be force institutionalized. They need to go to a sanatorium where they cannot get their hands on bath salt, toxic stuff, okay, or heroin, or all that horrible stuff that's out there. Any kind of horrible drug or psychedelic drugs, also very, very dangerous. I think they're addictive too. So all of those people that seem to think that they can't live without that, they need to be forced institutionalized, and they need to be put on a very, very strict health plan. Okay, very, very strict. And their bodies will appreciate that. Their bodies will thank these people. Not the ego, not the individual mind that has downloaded all of that indoctrination and looks like some smoke coming over here, so from someone barbecuing, but I thought it's my own breath, but it's smoke. I don't like the smell of that. I don't like the smell of dead animals, okay? So I would like to be all the way in nature, and there's nobody barbecuing around us, nobody setting anything on fire, nobody incinerating anything, okay? So I don't even light a candle anymore, so because all of that, you'll probably say, oh, that's ridiculous, this one candle, that's not gonna cause global warming. But every single candle, as a collective, okay, they do, okay, that is bad for the environment. Every fire that's lit is bad for the environment. So every combustion is bad for the environment. So, you fart out methane gases, but that you can't worry about, you have to, obviously, that's your metabolism. And the cow farts a lot. Cows fart a lot of methane gases, which is a huge, huge contributor to this greenhouse shield that is forming over the planet. People laugh about this, but it's actually happening. Because of massive agriculture worldwide. Okay, so you think, oh, one cow, but it's a collective of billions of cows that will fart and poop and also the slaughter industry that adds to that as well, and all of that causes that. All of these things, incinerating corpses, incinerating any kind of corpse, animal or human corpse, is bad for the environment, right then and there. So there's a solution for all of this: green burials and ending of animal agriculture. It has to be done right now if we want to save this planet. But most people are corrupt, they're not going to listen to me. But I will say it anyway because it has to be said. It's important that someone talks about this. But again, in regards to the drug epidemic, which is a real serious problem in the world, real serious problem. that can be fixed by force institutionalizing drug addicts and giving them healthy food every single day, giving them Vipassana meditation, the right videos to watch, not horror films, okay, not put fuel into the fire anymore, but allow these people to heal, okay. And unfortunately, most of those people cannot be released, because as soon as they're released, they will go back on the drugs. So my brother has been in a drug rehab, and he was okay for a while, but it didn't last very long. As soon as he came out, he started to get into more holistic things. Eckhart Tolle, he was a fan, he read the book, and for a while this went well. That's when I got along well with him. That's when we connected. As soon as he got back on drugs, okay, he became aggressive again to my parents and me. And that's where he's at right now. He's very aggressive, and I know he's taking drugs. He's taking either cocaine, or he's taking some other even more aggressive forms of that, like a form of meth, or that's how he's behaving himself, and that's also how he's looking. Every time he's off drugs, he gains weight. Every time he goes back on drugs, he loses weight, and he looks really mangled. He does not look healthy at all. And I'm very worried about him. I'm very worried for my dad also, because my brother associates with very bad people. So I don't want to get into this stuff for too long. I don't want to be whining and complaining about this, but this is what drugs do to people. They ruin their brains to the point where they have no more compassion, even for their own family members. That's what's happening, okay? So it's very serious. This is very serious for the whole world. This is not just like in my own family happening with my brother. This is happening worldwide, in every country, in almost every family. In the vast majority of families, this is happening. And violence and abuse result out of that. Domestic abuse, domestic violence result out of this. Particularly out of substance abuse, okay? Toxic substance abuse. So this is real serious, and this needs to be addressed, and people need to be forced hospitalized, and if they did, this is the solution, if they did, then we can save a whole lot of innocent living beings. We can save a whole lot of innocent dogs, animals, children, women, innocent living beings, okay? Women and men and children and all animals, okay? We can save if we force hospitalized drug addicts and violent people, okay? So, peace and love, that's enough talking.